is our top story here on this Tuesday. A scary situation for the people inside the South Louisville home this morning. One of them was rescued by firefighters surrounded by fire and smoke. Crews from both PRP and Fairdale Fire arrived at that scene off Scarborough Avenue to find one of the residents already outside, who alerted them to still someone else inside. Both were taken to the hospital for injuries. Also, a firefighter taken to a local clinic for what we're told was minor injuries. 25 firefighters worked to contain that fire. It took them about 23 minutes to control it. Louisville Metro Arson is investigating. And again, thanks so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Brooke Hash. Just last night, Louisville Metro Police released the first video of their response to November's deadly UPS plane crash in the form of body camera video. We see what officers saw when they got on scene shortly after that plane went down.
Everybody going. Everybody. Let's go. That way.
Officers directed people to get away from that crash as much as they could. You can see it off in the distance. UPS flight 2976 crashed around 5:15 the evening of November 4th. It was trying to take off from Ollie International Airport, headed for Honolulu, Hawaii. 15 people died, including 3 pilots on board and 12 people on the ground. LMPD also showed us the view it had from the sky. The debris field stretched more than a half mile. An early NTSB report said that crash happened when the left pylon and the engine separated from the wing of the plane. The final report could take months, if not years. 2 police shootings within 24 hours, and today a look at both from the officers' perspectives. The first one, we're showing you a confusing shootout on Bardstown Road near the Gardner Lane Shopping Center. It happened on December 19th, and it all began when police said a suspect, Winthrop Taylor, carjacked an SUV in Bashford Manor, and shortly after fired gunshots at an apartment complex and a Speedway gas station. LMPD said Taylor then chased someone from that Speedway all the way down Bardstown Road near that shopping center when officers were conducting an unrelated traffic stop. That's when at 12:34 a.m. police said Taylor and another SUV drove up toward the officers, and that's when you hear the gunshots. Officer Nicholas Fisher was there on scene. He shot back at the cars, and Taylor drove off. The other driver stayed behind, and officers ordered him out of the car. That's when they found out he was trying to escape from Taylor when he pulled up to the shopping center. The unnamed driver was shot in the arm. LMPD is still trying to figure out if it was a wound from a police bullet or someone else's.
We will work with the medical team to see if we can recover any of the projectiles from his arms, and if we are able to cover those projectiles, compare those to the weapon of the subject that we recovered, as well as the officer's weapon. And
LMPD said the injured driver is not facing any charges. Police allege Taylor carjacked another vehicle later that morning. LMPD tracked him down to a crawl space in an apartment complex where he was arrested, now facing several charges, including attempted murder of an officer. Well, the day before, on December 18th, in the Russell neighborhood, a different officer involved a shooting. LMPD said a shot spotter detected those gunshots in the neighborhood, but when they arrived, the suspect, Asa McNeely, ran. Officer John Heisler found McNeely in a backyard, told him to put his hands in the air. That's when they informed to officers that he had a gun on him, and he only raised one hand. He is then seen reaching toward his waistband with his other. We froze that video right before McNeely was shot by Officer Heisler.
Put your hands up. Put your other hand up. Put your other hand up.
So again, you'll see the screenshot in a moment showing a close-up of McNeely right there grabbing for his waistband. LMPD said officers were unable to approach him while he was still armed. They requested ballistic shields be brought to the scene to give aid to McNeely.
It was just under 9 minutes from the time that Officer Heisler discharged his firearm for the officers with shields to arrive on scene, formulate a tactical plan to safely approach the suspect.
Chief Deputy Ryan Bates says McNeely is still in critical condition and facing charges of wanton endangerment and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. It is 12:03 here on your Tuesday, and a pretty gloomy picture, one at that. Cloudy today, but rain is on the way for the next couple of days there, Matthew Willoughby.
Yeah, it sure is. Honestly, I was hoping we'd get, some warmer weather without the clouds and the rain, but sadly, we cannot do that for today. Give you a live look at our U of L health camera. Throughout the Louisville metro, yeah, still seeing those clouds throughout this afternoon. As temperatures are actually sitting into the 50s for this afternoon. So temperature right now, 57 degrees here in Louisville, 56 degrees in Shepherdsville, and even out into Hodgenville, 56 degrees. Now, as you give you a look at those feel-like temperatures, same case, honestly. We're starting to see those roll into the upper 50s this afternoon. So we'll continue to see those clouds building throughout the afternoon, and really some mild temperatures expected for us as we go towards not only today, but the next several days. And that rainy pattern will begin to arrive in the next couple of days. Overall, satellite and radar does still have those clouds overhead, so we're going to continue to really see those clouds over the next several hours. We'll probably get some peaks of sunshine as we go towards about 4 p.m. today, but back into 6 p.m., still holding on to most of those clouds. Overnight, temperatures will fall into the lower 50s, and by midnight, we'll be just into the upper 40s. Now, highs across the area today will likely only reach into the at least upper 50s and 60 degrees. Really, Louisville right at 60 degrees. Further south of Greensburg, 60, and just into the mid to upper 50s into southern Indiana. Now, we've been talking about the rain on the way for us. That's expected to roll in Wednesday night back into Thursday, but we'll likely see some widespread showers on the way for us as we go towards your Thursday back into Friday. And I'll be timing out how much rain we'll get coming up in just a few minutes. Back over to you, Brooke.
All right, thanks so much, Matthew. About 150 residents have returned home to the St. Catherine Court Public Housing Building after an electrical fire in the basement displaced them for about a week. Thankfully, no one was injured. The housing authority says some sparks dropped from this duct onto some of the boxes on the floor. It's since been replaced. LMHA told us this building has an antiquated system and it needed a special part from out of state. To get it quickly, 2 maintenance supervisors flew to Minneapolis on New Year's Eve and then drove back with the parts to get people back in this weekend.
Well, the parts are at a certain size, and I guess getting through TSA would be pretty difficult getting those parts to the airport. I was on vacation, so I said, you know what can I do to help? And then when I got the call to go help get the part, I just jumped on the opportunity.
The director of the Housing Authority said they're doing an assessment of critical building components at St. Catherine Court to make sure they have the right system in place to stop this from happening again. The Zone 10 fire chief wants to bring ambulances closer to your homes in Bullitt County, but nearby cities and the county's fiscal court opposing the move. They said your property taxes would go up. Our Ian Hardwitt and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton explain.
If you want emergency medical services closer to home in North Bullitt County, you'll have to pay for it.
It's going to cost us to start up probably around $5 million to get the ambulances, the equipment, the personnel.
Zone 10 Fire Chief Kevin Moulton says it'll cost $1 million for 3 ambulances, 1 for each of Zonton's 2 fire stations and a 3rd as a backup. 1 medic crew would always stay in Zonton.
But if there's a need, we would be willing to go out and help the county.
Spread out across the Fire Protection District, a 10-cent tax on every $100 in your property value would fund the service. That's $200 a year for a home worth $200,000. But before Zonton can collect the tax, it needs a certificate of need from the state. 5 cities and the county seek to intervene. Hillview Mayor Jim Edens opposes the tax because he says he's trying to save the people in Hillview money. Bullitt County Judge Executive Jerry Summers said the same. They both declined interviews because they see this battle over taxes heading towards a legal battle. They, along with the cities of Pioneer Village, Hebron Estates, Fox Chase, and Hunters Hollow, defend Bullitt County EMS's countywide coverage. Moulton says the county's average response time is 10 minutes, with Zonton's fire trucks making the same runs in just under 5 minutes, leaving firefighters waiting on ambulances.
For every minute you lose heart muscle, or you lose millions of brain cells if it's a stroke.
His solution would effectively double Zonton's tax revenue from $5.5 million to $11 million. In Bullitt County, Ian Hardwitt, WHAS11 on your side.
Chief Moulton told us expanded ambulance service could start in June if they get that certification.